Have you ever wondered, why have you watched hundreds of self-development videos, read countless books, listen to all kinds of advice, but your life is still stuck in the same place? It's not that you lack knowledge. It's not that you haven't heard the right things. What you lack is a strong push, a painful truth to wake you up. We live in an age full of information, but lacking awareness. Full of theory, but lacking action. Because much of what we receive is too gentle, too easy to listen to, too comforting. But to truly change, you need a different kind of medicine, one that isn't sweet. One that isn't easy to swallow. One that might startle you. One that might be uncomfortable. But is also the kind of truth that will push you out of the rut and onto the path of true growth. This video is not for people who want to be comforted. It is for people who are ready to face themselves. People who know that no one can make them better unless they choose to change. I'm going to share with you 10 powerful remedies. They're not tricks, nor are they magic bullets. They're real and a little brutal at times, but if you're willing to listen and take action, they'll help you become the best version of yourself. Are you ready? Not to feel good, but to really change? Because if you really want to take your life to the next level, now is the time. And these 10 remedies are the first step. Have you ever felt like you were drowning? Tired, stuck, not knowing what to do next? And in your head, a familiar question rings out. Will someone come to help me? But the truth is, no one comes. Not because they're evil, not because they don't care, but because everyone is struggling with their own lives. No one can carry all the pain, the responsibilities, and the decisions for you, forever. The more you wait for someone to rescue you, the more passive you become. The more you hope that someone will come and reset your life, the more likely you are to fall into despair. And the scariest thing is that you start to believe that you can't do anything without someone's help. The truth is, every recovery, every transformation, starts with a moment where you decide to stop waiting for someone else. You look reality in the eye and say, enough, I'm going to pick myself up. I know that feeling, the feeling of being left behind, the feeling of wanting someone to understand you, to encourage you, to give you a reason to stand up. But then I realized, no one understands you better than you. And no one can help you get through the dark days. And it was when I stopped waiting, stopped blaming, stopped hoping for a miracle, that life began to change. Not because things got easier, but because I got stronger. Every step I took, no matter how small, was a step out of the hole I had fallen into. Action is the only way out. It doesn't have to be big. I just woke up 30 minutes earlier today. Just make your bed. Write down one thing you have to do and actually do it. That's how you start to save yourself. No frills. No cheering. You can choose to wait another day, but ask yourself, if you do nothing today, will tomorrow be different? No one can save you but yourself. And when you truly understand that, you will no longer be afraid anymore. Because you know, you have the power to change. Here's an uncomfortable truth, but it's the beginning of inner freedom. No one owes you anything. No one owes you recognition. No one owes you love. No one owes you a chance, a thank you, or kindness. And life, absolutely, has no obligation to turn out the way you want it to. The problem is, we're often not taught this early on. We grow up with the idea that if we're nice, if we try, if we're sincere, then the world will respond accordingly. But the world doesn't operate like a fair machine. It operates on its own terms, harsh, matter of fact, and sometimes irrational. I used to feel extremely disappointed when no one recognized my efforts. I used to think, I did the right thing. Why is no one recognizing me? I tried so hard. Why is my chance not coming? But at those times, I realized I was expecting something from life in return, as if I had bought a ticket and was expecting a gift. And that is the mindset that makes us weak, the mindset of the demanding person. Strong people don't demand, they create. They don't wait to be loved, they spread love. They don't wait to be recognized, they recognize themselves. And if it seems unfair, they work twice as hard. Not because anyone forced them to, but because they know that demanding less, giving more is the path to true power. The world isn't fair, but you can be fair to yourself by stopping expecting and starting to be proactive. If today you find yourself feeling angry about not being appreciated, ask yourself, what do I expect from whom? And if the answer is, I just want to be seen, understood, loved, then start doing that for yourself. When you stop seeking external validation, you begin to build something of value that no one can take away, autonomy. You don't need anyone to owe you anything to live a fulfilling life. All you need is one thing: a commitment to living your true values, whether anyone sees it or not. That's how strong people live. That's how you become your best self, not by asking, but by daring to give. There is a common mistake that many people are making. They wait until they feel like it. I'm not in the mood to write today. I'm not in the mood to work out. Somehow, I'm not ready to start. If you've said these things, you're not alone. But let me say this very clearly. You don't need to feel ready to start. And you don't need emotions to do what needs to be done. Because emotions, very often, come after. Actions, however, are the ones who lead the way. The most successful people I know don't wait for inspiration. They don't wake up and say, "Do I want to work today?" They get up and do it. Even if they're tired, even if they're bored, even if their mind is somewhere else. They do it, like a warrior, disciplined, consistent, regardless of mood. You know what makes real class? It's not the days when you come in when you feel inspired. It's the days when you come in when you don't feel like it. And it is days like these, boring, difficult, without fireworks, that are the silent bricks that build sustainability. I remember one time a friend asked me, "How do I get motivated to go to the gym every day?" I replied, "I don't have motivation every day. I just have a schedule." You don't need to wait for energy to come to you. You need to commit. Commit that, rain or shine, high or low, you will do the right thing. Because if every decision you make is based on your emotions, then you are allowing your emotions to determine your future. And the future doesn't belong to those who wait for inspiration. It belongs to those who act when they don't feel anything. You don't have to feel inspired to be disciplined. You don't have to feel ready to start something big. You just need to start. And let the action guide the emotion. Remember, feelings are the reward, but actions are the choice. Do you ever feel like you're standing still, even though you're clearly trying? You set goals. You're motivated. But it feels like there's some invisible force holding you back. And you start to wonder, is someone blocking my path? But then one day, you suddenly realize, it's not anyone else. It's you who is standing in your own way. Not your boss, not your family, not society, but the voice in your head, whispering every time you want to start something bigger. Am I good enough? It's too early for that. Be careful not to fail and lose face. Maybe someone else is more suitable than me. Sound familiar? That's the weak self. The version of you that always plays it safe. Is afraid of failure and doubts your own abilities. And the scariest thing? It speaks in your voice. It makes you think, this is real, but really, it's just fear in a very clever package. I used to ask myself, why do I procrastinate on the most important things? And the answer was always, because I'm afraid. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of other people's judgment. Fear of starting and not being able to finish. The problem isn't that you lack the ability. It's that you've allowed yourself to live with a voice that keeps you from trying. So what do we need to do? First, identify it. Every time you hear yourself say, "It can't be done," stop and ask, "Really? Or is that just fear talking?" Every time you are about to procrastinate, ask yourself, what is really dangerous if I do this today? And most importantly, talk to yourself with consistency. Say it, write it down, repeat it. I am not the voice in my head. I am the one who chooses to act. Despite fear, no one can stop you from moving forward better than yourself. But no one can free you better than yourself, if you are brave enough to look straight at your shadow. Because sometimes, to move forward, you don't need more skills. You just need to put your weak ego aside and begin. You know what's really unfair? The world doesn't judge you by what you do determined do. It only looks at what you satisfied do. You can have hundreds of great ideas, dozens of bold plans, and a long list of dreams that you say, will do soon. But if you don't take action, then in the eyes of life, you are nothing more than a person standing still. Try to remember, how many times have you said this sentence? I was going to write a book. I used to want to open a small shop. I almost started my own YouTube channel. Don't worry, I've been there too. I have a whole graveyard of ideas that never took shape. And I realize, no one asks me about the things I almost do. They only see what I have or have not done. The truth is, intentions don't create results. Actions are the language of the real world. You can't send an invoice and write intent to pay at the bottom. You can't apply for a job and say, I intend to learn this skill. And you can't build your dream life on dreams alone. Unfortunately, many people think that planning to do is a form of success. They think that stating a goal enough times will make it real. But the truth is the opposite. Talking too much and not doing anything will make you lose credibility with others. And more importantly, with yourself. The more you procrastinate, the more you lose faith in yourself. So, if you are planning to do something, here is a wake-up call. Stop talking. Get started. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The action you take today, however small, is better than all the great intentions you never start. If you really want to write a book, write the first page right after this video. If you want to learn a new skill, start the first video. even if it's only 5 minutes. If you have been wanting to change, now is the time. The world will not remember you for the things you did think will do. But it will change when you start actually doing it. Do you feel like the world is changing too fast? A skill learned today may be obsolete next year. A job once considered secure may be replaced by technology in a matter of months. The way we communicate, the way we consume information, even the way we define success, all are changing every day. And if you don't change with it, you're being left behind. Not because you're inferior, but because you're standing still. This story is no longer about development. It is about survival. There is no longer an era where you can learn once, use forever. Now, you have to learn continuously. Update your thinking. Upgrade your skills. Adapt to new technology. Even the way you perceive your self-worth needs to be renewed. Look around you. There are people who were once great, but then they got stuck in their glorious past. They refused to learn more, refused to do new things, refused to listen to the next generation. And the result? They became obsolete versions of themselves in their own lives. I used to think, I'm fine. There was a time when my skills were enough to keep me going. But then I saw people who were younger, faster, more flexible, and I understood. Yesterday's good performance does not guarantee today's. What I learned is this: you don't have to be the best, you just have to be someone who keeps getting better. You don't have to change the world, but you do have to change yourself a little bit every day. Ask yourself, when was the last time you learned something completely new? When was the last time you updated your thinking about work, health, relationships? If you can't remember, maybe it's time to refresh yourself. Start small. Read a book you thought wasn't for you. Learn how to use a new digital tool. Try a different way of thinking, even if it goes against your old beliefs. Because in today's world, the slow person has no time to hesitate, and the person who stands still is the one left behind. Remember, every day you don't update is a day you fall behind, and every day you learn something, no matter how small, is a day you're keeping yourself alive and stable in this ever-changing world. I know you have the will. I know you are trying every day to change yourself, to move forward, to become a better version of yourself. But let's be honest with each other. Are your efforts being eroded little by your surroundings? Are you living among people who complain about everything, but never change anything? Are you surrounded by negative talk, criticism, nagging, and endless complaining? The problem here is not that you are weak. The problem is you are spending your power in the wrong place. In the wrong way. You may be a person with nerves of steel, but if you spend every day living, working, or talking with people who have no ambition, no motivation, sooner or later you will wear yourself out. Not in a day, but little by little, silently, slowly but surely. I used to believe that as long as I was strong enough, the environment didn't matter, but I was wrong. You can fight the headwind for a while, but if you live in the storm every day, you will burn out, and then, it's not because you're incompetent, it's because you put yourself in the wrong ecosystem. Let's look back. Are you around people who procrastinate, but always advise others to stay positive? Are you wasting energy explaining your dreams to people who never dared to dream? Do you find yourself gradually normalizing mediocrity? Just because everyone around you is like that? If the answer is yes, then it's time for a change. Changing the environment is not selfish, it is survival. Start being selective about what you allow into your world. The people you connect with. The content you watch every day. The conversations you participate in. Seek out constructive energy. Surround yourself with people who say, "I'll try again," instead of, "I guess I'll give it a go." It's not just a difference in attitude. It's the difference between living an ordinary life and living a life worth living. You cannot grow if you are surrounded by things that hold you back. And sometimes, the way to get ahead isn't to try harder, it's to get up and walk away from the place that's killing your potential. Have you ever put something off, just because you felt like you weren't good enough to start? I will write this book, but when my writing skills are better. I want to shoot videos, but I'm not confident enough in front of the camera. I'm planning to start a business, but I need a little more time to prepare better. Sounds reasonable, right? But actually, it's the trap of perfection. We think that to start, we need to be 100% ready. Good, certain, no mistakes. But the truth is, if you wait until it's perfect, you'll never start anything. Perfection is an excuse wrapped in a seemingly noble facade. But behind it is fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of failure. Fear that I am not good enough to be recognized. I used to feel that way. Every time I was about to post a new video, I would think, "This isn't good enough. Let's edit it a little more." And so I edited, forever. Until I realized, the world doesn't need my perfection. They need truth and progress. You don't have to be best to get started. You just have to be brave enough to show up and commit to improving every day. Do you know who is truly good? Not the one who shows up perfect, but the one who dares to show up imperfect and persists in getting better each time. Because every time you take action, even if the results are not as expected, you are shortening the distance between where you were and who you want to be. So, don't ask, "Am I good enough?" Ask, "Am I better than yesterday?" If the answer is yes, then you are on the right path. And remember, a badly written page is better than nothing written at all. An incomplete video can still be inspirational. One wobbly step is better than sitting still in the safe zone. You don't have to be perfect to start, but you do have to start to have a chance at progress. Because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is constant improvement. Let's be honest with each other. Have you ever sat alone and thought, "I want my life to be better"? You want a more meaningful job, better health, more stable finances. You dream of a great future, but do you have a concrete plan to achieve it? Because dreams don't come true just because you wish for them. Without a plan of action, there is no chance of success. I have met many passionate people. They are full of energy when talking about their dreams. But when I ask, "Do you have a specific timetable for that?" they are silent. They want to change, but have no strategy to do so. You can't run a marathon just by feeling good. You need a training routine. You can't write a book by saying, "I'll write when I feel inspired." You need to schedule time, day by day, week by week, and stick to it like a boss. I used to be a big dreamer, but I realized a dream without a plan is just a luxurious fantasy. What about people who make their dreams come true? They plan like it's their life. Want to change jobs? Don't just hope. Write down specific steps. 1. What skills need to be learned? 2. When to study? 3. When to apply? 4. What should I do each week to get closer? Want to get healthier? Don't just set a goal of lose 10 pounds. Write down. How many sessions per week? What diet? Who is supporting or following this journey with you? An action plan turns the vague into the tangible. And more importantly, when you write your plan down, you hold yourself accountable. Because when you get serious about your dream, you don't just let it stay in your head, you bring it down to earth, turning it into actionable tasks. And you know what's great? As you complete each small step, you start to believe in yourself. So, if you really want to be successful, don't ask, "What do I want?" Ask, "What will I do, and when?" Because no one succeeds by hoping. They succeed because they plan, and live by that plan like there is no other option. Everyone has pain. A fall from childhood, a betrayal, a failure that seemed impossible to recover from. No one goes through this life without a few scars on their heart. So what makes the difference between those who fall and those who rise strong? It's not the amount of pain, it's how they react to it. Some people let their pain overwhelm them. They become bitter, withdrawn, cynical. They begin to destroy everything good around them, and eventually destroy themselves. Then there are others. They carry that same pain. But instead of letting it burn them, they use it as fuel. They use pain to fuel. They use disappointment to create focus. They use loss to create gratitude. And from there, they grow. They become stronger, more clear, not just with life, but with themselves. I used to blame myself for having to endure some things that were beyond my control. But then, looking back, those wounds taught me more than any lesson in books. They taught me empathy. They taught me humility. They taught me to be strong, not the pretending to be okay kind, but strong because I've been broken and kept going. The question is not how to avoid pain, because you can't. Life will knock you down when you least expect it. But you always have a choice. Or let the pain swallow you. Or learn to rewrite your story from those scars. Look at the most inspiring people in the world. Athletes, artists, community leaders. Most of them started from a place of pain. And that's where they found their true strength. The question is not, are you in pain? But rather, what are you going to do with that pain? You can let it close your heart. Or, you can open a new chapter, where you not only survive, but shine through the very things that once brought you down. Wounds can make you bitter, or make you profound. The choice is always yours. No one, accidentally, becomes the best version of themselves. No one wakes up one day and suddenly becomes disciplined, determined, and filled with inner strength. No one just lucks into a life they can be proud of. If you see someone living the life you dream of, I bet there are a lot of brave decisions behind them that you don't see. Decisions begin when they are uncertain and fearful. Decide to act when no one supports you, when no one believes you can do it, and most importantly, decide to keep going, even when everything is falling apart. Growth doesn't come from easy days. It comes from the days you want to give up, but keep going. The 10 medicines. that I share with you today may not be easy to hear. At times, you may find them too real, too cold, and not at all sweet. But you know what? Bitter is the real medicine. You don't need more comforting advice to feel better in a few minutes. You need the truth, something that can move you to take action and change forever. Stop searching for motivation, because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired. Other days you don't want to get out of bed. And if you only live by inspiration, your life will be based on emotion. What you need is a commitment. Commit to something you know is right. Something you know is necessary. Something that if you don't do, you won't be able to live fully as yourself. That commitment will guide you, even when your mind is in turmoil. That commitment will be the guiding light, even when you don't see anyone beside you. That commitment is what keeps you going, not because you have the motivation, but because you have chosen to take responsibility for your own life. And that is the best version of you can be. Not perfect, not superhuman, just simply a human being committed to living, doing, and growing. If you are still here, listening to this last line, then I believe you do not just want change. You are ready, and the journey begins the moment you say, I will not wait any longer. I act now. You have just been given 10 powerful doses, not to be taken lightly, but to be awakened. 1. No one can save you but yourself. 2. No one owes you anything. 3. No need for emotions to start. 4. You are in your own way. 5. Intentions don't create results, only actions do. 6. If you don't update yourself, you'll be left behind. 7. A bad environment will destroy strong will. 8. No need for perfection, just progress. 9. No plan equals no opportunity. 10. If you don't turn pain into power, it will consume you. This is not a list to write down and then leave. This is a wake-up call, a survival guide, a mirror that reflects you back to who you are, not the person you want to appear to be, but the person you know you can be if you dare to be authentic. Act authentically, and take authentic responsibility. Not everyone dares to swallow all 10 doses of this medicine, because it's bitter. It has neither the sweetness of comfort, nor the honey of easy promises. But if you have the courage to listen and really live by it, you will no longer be the old version of yourself. You will be the person. Don't wait, act. Don't complain. Build, not vague, but clear. Don't just dream, but commit. And then, you'll look back at the person you were today, the person watching this video, and smile. Because you know, that's the moment you start. No need to be perfect. Just enough is enough. Just dare to start, and commit to seeing it through. If you find yourself in any part of this video, don't keep it to yourself. Right finger share the video with someone you know who needs a real dose of medicine. Right finger comment below, I am willing to commit to myself. Right finger, and if you want to continue your journey to becoming the best version of yourself, click subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. Thank you for staying until the end. Not everyone has the patience, but those who are truly ready for change stay until the end. See you in the next video, where we not only hear good things, but dare to live for them.